Good afternoon from a sunny and breezy Hobart. Beautiful sun, all right, but a slightly cool southeast breeze, about 15 knots on the Derwent River to my left here. And of course behind us, an empty Constitution dock because no one's arrived yet on day 2. No race records this year. Indeed, some quite challenging conditions, not the usual heavy hitting stuff, but actually parking lots on the New South Wales south coast overnight. Good heavy running in the first evening, northeast sea breezes bringing the whole fleet down the coast there and then into that transition, and the Super Maxis trying to position themselves for the first of the best new breeze coming in out of the east, which they got probably late this morning. They've been building speed as they've headed across Bass Strait, but the back end of the fleet is somewhere off Narooma still. The forecast is going to show the leaders pushing on overnight. At the moment, it's a bit of a dice between Comanche, who's sitting out quite wide east of the rum line, but coming in and closing. She's holding a very small lead over Scallywag and then Blackjack, with Woxie a good sort of 8 miles behind. She really hit a bad parking spot last night. Probably 3 Mile Blanket covers most of those first 4, and the rest of the fleet following shortly behind. So the first question everyone wants to speculate in is, when will the first boats be in? And I'll refer you to Sail World's Golden Rules of Hobart number 4. I'll tell you that when they're here. Very wise words and advice for anybody in these conditions, because there's plenty more action still to come, and a lot of it will be about manoeuvring around some pretty quiet conditions. The weather ahead is really what's going to tell it all. So most of the front of the fleet, the Super Maxis particularly, are going to enjoy a building breeze. It's probably going to back quietly from the east into the northeast, possibly north-northeast. It would look like parallel to the east coast, so pretty much optimal for VMG downwind running, and that's the stuff that really suits the skinnier boats. So Comanche and Infotrack may be needing to hold in tight there as well. That breeze starts to fade late night and into the early morning, and indeed by the time they're down here, if you follow one of the predict wind models at the moment, tomorrow morning sometime, very light northerly breezes down the Derwent River, maybe 5, possibly 7 knots. So if you were going to put any money on it, some people are saying maybe mid-late afternoon tomorrow. I think we'll leave that to those who want to take those sorts of bets. What does it mean for the rest of the fleet? Not much point in predicting anything very much at the moment, because if it's hard enough for the Super Maxis, it's almost impossible to make the call for the rest of the fleet. Safe to say that out of the top 10 boats on IRC at the moment, 7 are TP52s, of which Ichiban is the leader. So that's impressive stuff, and possibly shaping them up well if they can get enough breeze tomorrow. So that northerly airflow works pretty well all the way down the coast, but it starts to shift and go east with some lighter breezes down the coast there. So it's possible that they may not get round the corner fast enough to be making up on the big boats. Who knows? There's been a pretty low attrition rate. That's one real upside of this race this year, with Hollywood Boulevard retiring with rudder damage on the first night, as also Faster Forward with steering damage. So the biggest challenge may indeed, with some lightning breezes, may well be whether or not enough of the boats towards the back half of the fleet have got water and food sufficient to see them out through this race. We'll give you a further update tomorrow.